In an era where speaking the truth comes with a heavy price and friendships are often sacrificed at the altar of politics, two giants of the media world finally collided. This wasn't just another scripted TV segment, it was a trial of a decades-long friendship and a test of core principles. When Bill Maher looked Joe Scarborough dead in the eye and uttered the truth that millions of Americans had been whispering, the studio air turned to ice. What happens when your own friend starts twisting your words to fit a narrative? Does a person have to apologize for loving their country? Today's story is for those who refuse to stay silent even when the crowd is screaming. If you believe that integrity still matters, watch this until the very end, because the lesson learned here might just change your perspective on everything. Make sure to like and subscribe, because courage like this is a rare sight in today's world. In the glittering world of political media, where camera lights can make any lie look like gospel, Bill Maher has always been a man who refused to be bullied. His longtime peer, Joe Scarborough, the man who wakes up America every morning and claims to be the shield of democracy, was his guest. Their bond went back years, but on that night under the real-time lights, something fundamental shifted. The atmosphere grew heavy as the conversation turned toward Ilhan Omar and the future of the American spirit. Maher's point was sharp and unapologetic: if you come to this country from a place of hardship and enjoy the immense freedoms offered here, do not just complain, show a little gratitude. It wasn't a message of hate, it was a plea for perspective from a man who feared the country was losing its soul to constant cynicism. The tragedy began when Joe Scarborough decided to weaponize that friendship for political points. Instead of engaging with the idea, Joe began to straw man Maher, repeatedly misrepresenting his words to make it seem as though Bill was attacking a citizen's right to speak. Joe kept cutting Maher off, painting him as the villain of the story for the sake of a viral clip. The studio fell into a tense silence, but you could see the fire ignite in Maher's eyes, that specific spark of anger that only comes when a friend tries to betray your character on a public stage. Maher finally snapped, "Joe, I'm not talking about her rights. I'm talking about perspective. Why are you putting words in my mouth that I never said?" It was a heartbreaking moment that exposed how modern media often sacrifices truth and loyalty for ratings. As the debate escalated, Scarborough's face flushed a deep red. He tried the oldest trick in the media handbook: when you're losing a logical argument, pivot to a different villain. He began dragging Donald Trump into the mix, trying to distract the audience from the point at hand. But Maher refused to retreat. He reminded Joe of their history, of the time Maher stood up for Joe when the entire world was trying to cancel him. It was a raw, emotional pivot. Maher proved he wasn't just a host, he was a man of principle who would fight his oldest friend to defend the truth. He effectively exposed Scarborough as someone who had become a pawn of a scripted, partisan echo chamber, losing touch with the reality of the people he serves. The turning point came when the weight of the truth became too heavy for Joe to ignore. In a rare moment of live TV vulnerability, Scarborough was forced to walk back his aggression, admitting, if only slightly, that he might have mischaracterized Maher's point. But the victory didn't belong to Maher, it belonged to every person watching who is tired of being told what to think. Maher demonstrated that you can criticize your country's flaws while still being deeply grateful for its existence. He highlighted the massive gulf between a country like Somalia and a country like America, not just in borders, but in the values that allow a person the freedom to even have a voice. The lesson from this explosive night is simple yet profound: perspective matters. In a world filled with noise and performative outrage, having a balanced view is a superpower. It is easy to tear things down, it is much harder to build and appreciate. Bill Maher showed us that we should cherish our freedoms without fear of being cancelled by the mob. Speaking the truth doesn't require a political party or a massive platform, it only requires a clean heart and a backbone of steel. If Maher had stayed silent to save his friendship, a vital truth would have remained buried. By choosing to speak, he chose integrity over comfort. This story isn't just about two famous men arguing on television, it's about you and me. We all face moments where friends misunderstand us or people twist our intentions. But remember, someone who intentionally twists your words to make you look bad isn't a friend, they are an opportunist. Always stand by the truth, no matter how bitter it may taste. Bill Maher did exactly that, and in the end, his standing was only elevated. We must adopt this principle in our own lives: To speak the truth and value the ground we stand on, for these freedoms were bought with a price we must never forget. If you were moved by Bill Maher's courage to stand his ground, type truth in the comments below. Your engagement gives us the strength to keep bringing you stories that challenge the narrative. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button right now. We bring you the realest, most thought-provoking stories that will change the way you see the world. Until next time, stay sharp, stay brave, and always stand for the truth.